So I wanted to spend a little bit of time too, just helping people understand where does this fit in our own resin portfolio? How is it leveraging detail of one, flexibility of another to kind of arrive at this ABS PC blend? Could you talk a little bit about, Eric, about where this fits in our whole portfolio of resins?
Yeah, absolutely. So we're highlighting these materials because externally, I mean, from this photo, they look very similar, right? But they all have very different use cases. So I was going to kind of go through here real quick and just kind of explain maybe best uses for each and where does the robust ABS PC line up with all of this stuff. So I'm going to actually talk about the robust last. The next one in from the left is our resilient silicone product. So it's actually an elastomer. It's made to mimic the properties of a silicone. So shore durometer of 70A. This is obviously good for any component that needs to kind of conform to an odd surface, whether it's a sealing part or O-ring or anything that needs to conform to a more organic shape, maybe would be a better way to say that. There's good tear resistance on that. The major pro of it is the response rate. So typically with these additive elastomer materials, you'll get them to kind of bend and flex and deform, and they don't tear, they don't rip or anything like that, but they don't exactly come back to their original shape very fast. This material does. It's actually almost immediate. So that really makes that one stand out. The HD Slate, the next one to the right, is actually a little more of a high precision / high detail resin. It's gray in color. It's got a really awesome finish on it as well. Actually, I would say the robust ABS PC and the HD Slate are kind of comparable in terms of the surface finish you get. It's this really nice matte texture. The HD Slate, its big party trick is it's low to almost zero Z bleed. So if you need to make very small componentry and you're used to doing these parts on like a Swiss lathe or EDM process where you've got really, really tiny through holes or very, very small positive features that you need to turn out, this is the material for you. Next up is the Rugged Nylon 6. Rugged is a nylon-like material. So I would actually say that this is probably the most similar to the robust ABS PC material. And what I mean by that is it's also a high impact resistant material. The main differences I'll highlight is that Rugged is more flexible. Definitely not an elastomer. It is still a rigid material, but you're going to get a lot more bend. The flexural modulus is a lot lower than robust ABS PC, to the point where you'll almost see yielding or necking on these parts. As you, in engineering terms, as you make them fail. High elongation on that material as well. But it can definitely, in terms of comparison with robust, it's actually even higher impact resistance than our robust ABS PC material. Lastly, gray. Gray is, as its name would imply, a gray material. It is for generally prototyping purposes. Its mechanical properties are on par with most other acrylic-based 3D printing or liquid photopolymer materials. But its big party trick is the fact that it can print big stuff really fast. So if you need to get your objects just in front of people, if you need to just hold them, make sure they fit in the hand well, get some sort of feel for, do I like the scale of this object? It's really actually easy to lose sense of when you're working in CAD scale. So it's a big benefit to actually hold a part in your hands. There's just something about that tactile feedback that you just can't replace virtually. So that material is fantastic for that. So robust, I think, is a great complement to this product line. what it does is it kind of fulfills that high impact resistance hole that we have. Not really a hole. It complements the resilient and the rugged really nicely in terms of that. It gives more rigidity for folks that wanted different applications like snap fit and stuff that just needed to hold its shape a little bit better than the rugged could, especially in thinner walled applications. And the heat resistance of this material puts it at the top of our product portfolio as well. So that's kind of how that all lines up.
Yeah, I think that's great. You know, this isn't by any means an exhaustive list of our resins. We have other design, biocompatible, and casting materials as well. But we were getting a lot of feedback where I love the detail of your HD Slate. I love the impact resistance of your Nylon 6, but I need something that's a bit more rigid in between. So this not only meets a nice engineering resin need with that ABS and polycarbonate blend, but to Eric's point, a nice sweet spot in our portfolio as well.